think a big problem this generation has, my generation, is that we believe too quickly what we see online, especially if it comes from a source that is not even like proven credible or proven to be, you know, subjectively right or objectively right, but is more so presenting their facts and their opinions in a very believable manner. And so, I mean, you'll see this come to an extreme with communities like, Andrew Tate's following, and even a lot of political groups can do that pretty easily. And they really don't even have to back up their claims because, the people are either already have some sort of preconceived notion about like certain topics, certain issues, and they just find the first person online that aligns with those and they'll keep following them. The first professional looking person online. Or they'll just be so flexible in their beliefs and ideologies that whoever is the first person to really convince them becomes their new belief system and their new mentor in a way. And I see a lot of this with friends of mine, believing in like some of the stuff Andrew Tate says. I see this with most people online, honestly. You just got to go to any comment section in a YouTube video or a Twitter post, and it becomes pretty apparent how passionate these people are, and the views that some of these people are getting is pretty absurd. But I think all of this is very important because we're losing the basic skill set of just questioning our society and questioning, the world that we're put into, and obviously not becoming conspiracy theorists or becoming like hermits who don't want to contribute at all to society, but for the opposite reason, which is to actually improve and help our society grow as much as possible. And we do that by continuously questioning the people in authority. This is the foundation and the basis of the American political system and our freedom of speech, all of the amendments that we have as Americans. And I think it's important to keep that in mind, not just in politics, but in anything for that matter. I want to give a story of something that happened to me just today, actually. I was on a run, which I haven't been keeping up with, honestly. I haven't stayed consistent with my running, but I was on a run today, and it was a pretty normal average run. I was just gonna get in like 2 miles, preparing for a half marathon next week, and I noticed that the guy in front of me is also shirtless. It's a hot day. We're in Vegas right now, and it's super hot. It's hard to run at all in the first place. Running at 11 a.m. was an interesting choice I made, for sure. But I noticed the guy in front of me was also shirtless. Seemed like he was on a run too, but he was walking very slowly. And I passed him. I just gave him a little gesture, what's up? Passed him. Making laps around the school that's right next to me. And I make my first lap, and I see him again. And this time, we're facing each other. And, no words are exchanged. I see him again. I just say hi. continue on my run. About to finish up, honestly, because even though I'm only like a mile and a half in, getting pretty exhausted from the heat. And just as I'm about to call it a day for the run, the dude comes up from behind me, and it turns out he wanted to talk to me and join me on my run, which is super awesome. Never had that happen to me in Vegas, and I really appreciate it when I do have someone to run with. If you're a runner, you know, like, that gives you a lot of motivation, allows you to perform a lot better when you have a friend or someone to run alongside you. Same thing goes with any sort of physical activity. And, you know, super cool kid, 17 years old. We started talking about each other's lives, you know, how long we've been running, basic stuff about each other. And I'll admit, I can get a bit too open too fast, especially with strangers. And I was starting to, we got very quickly into our like beliefs and ideals, talking about religion, philosophy, politics, all in the span of like 30 minutes. So great guy, amazing guy, super motivated. You know, he's talking about he wanted to become he wants to be a Navy SEAL after high school, and he did his first ultra a year ago, running from Henderson to the Magic Mountain rock formation. If you've ever been in the valley, then you know what I'm talking about, the rainbow colored rocks. Awesome at 16 years old, genuinely crazy. And so I really like the guy, but you know, about 30 minutes in, you're talking to me, so we get deep pretty fast, unfortunately. So, well, fortunately, but it can also be bad. I tend to tell like too much about my own personal life to strangers. So, you know, this goes on, and eventually we get on the topic of like people we're following and listening to right now. I talk about this app I've been using, Imprint. Super cool. It's like Instagram, but like for people that just want to keep learning constantly. Like you basically swipe, and you notice that like every swipe you do, you could just see like random facts about whatever you want to learn. And I've been doing that with philosophy, so I've been like learning about Greek philosophy all the way to Descartes and Kierkegaard. Now it goes all the way to like modern day. Tell him about that. He's like, oh cool, yeah, no, I've been reading about Stoicism, he says, which is awesome. And then he mentions, you know, I've also been watching Andrew Tate. And he prefaces with like, a lot of people call me a cornball. And, you know, he drops that bombshell. And, you know, wasn't expecting that. It's funny, right? Like, if you think about it, me getting so personal, and then I learned something like, oh, that's not that good of a thing to know about someone. But I mean, it just goes to show like how important it is, like the people you follow. And obviously, like, this kid, he's like super cool, right? He's super motivated. He seems to be like on top of his stuff. He says he watches David Goggins too. Like he did his first ultra, which was like 36 miles by himself, just because he wanted to. His friends like called him like weird for it, but he still did it, right? Listening to David Goggins the whole time. And I mean, the dude's reading like Roman philosophy, and he says he just tries to hang out with like all older people. He's always trying to like surround himself with the right people, right? So a lot of great mindsets, a lot of great growth, sort of on the journey to wealth and status mindsets. But at the same time, on this journey of picking and choosing what you believe in and what you think will help you the most and make you the most successful, you end up picking up like sort of, okay, very toxic. It's not sort of, it's not a good community to be a part of, right? The toxic masculinity, the misogynistic, the women should be in the kitchen sort of like really bad mindset of Andrew Tate's fan base and his whatever he preaches, which I haven't really watched his videos, so I probably should have done a little more research before talking about this, but I just thought it was interesting, and it's a really good example of just how like yes, we are open to new ideas, which is good. I think people my age, we're very open, and we listen a lot to the authority figures online who we believe to be smart, against the status quo, and has your best interest in mind, which, I mean, those are very vague points, but like it goes to show like literally anyone can go online and start talking, and if they're confident enough can have a following and a fan base. But yeah, I just wish that people my age were a little more careful about the leaders they chose to give them their belief system and the people they chose to watch and listen to every day. And going back to the app I was using, been learning a lot about like Socrates and Plato, so I think I can tie that back into Greek philosophy. And you'll notice, if you do read about Socrates even a little bit, you'll know that literally his main philosophy was like always question everything around you, right? His famous quote was, I know that I know nothing. And he would literally like hold like these seminars almost, where I think he would just like go into town, or he would talk to his students, and he would just keep on questioning the beliefs that the people around him or students held about certain things. And like, I mean, he'd be like a kid, like asking your parents like, why, just over and over, like, why is this? Why do you think the state should rule this much? And then, oh, because this. Why do you think that? Oh, because this person told me that. And then like you keep asking him until he either like the belief crumbles or his opinion crumbles and he's not able to explain himself, or you realize that this person truly does have an in-depth understanding of what they believe and is able to defend themselves. So that's very important. It's important because it doesn't let people blindly follow leaders that they don't understand, or belief systems they don't understand. And it, at the same time, allows people to, sort of have a civil and intellectual conversation about the current state of affairs of their country or the world or their, age group, culture, demographics. The questioning leads to change, and the change leads to hopefully positive growth if it's constructive questioning, and not just the yelling and blabbering that a lot of news channels do, where they'll have like a a left-leaning and right-leaning guy just sit at a table, and they'll just try and talk over each other for like 30 minutes, and nothing gets solved. But yeah, it's just funny how like problems from thousands of years ago have yet to be solved. Like, they're still happening, and I think a big issue is a big difference, and probably the main reason why it's still happening is because we're living in the digital age. Like, so much information like blasted at us like 24/7, and the platforms we find ourselves on to get this information, they're not really designed to have civil, meaningful conversations, right? Like, there's a video, there's a comment section where like 80% of the people are trying to make jokes about the video or just saying random stuff, and the few people that are actually like writing paragraphs about their opinions of what they thought about what the other guy said in the video, like, it's usually just like one guy at the top who made like a really good point, like actually wrote more than one sentence, got like 1,000 likes, and then it really stops there. So I don't know. Obviously, social media is just designed to generate as many views as possible, for advertisements, and also to keep us using our phones as long as possible. It all comes down to marketing, advertisements, product placement, so we can keep looking at that stuff. And yeah, that's, I think, one of the most dangerous things about what's going on with people our age. Really just like going headfirst into a belief system from someone you heard online who may sound convincing and cool and like against the status quo, but is just like, when you talk to a person in real life, like the guy I met today, it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. It's hard to justify what they say in real life. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about today. I guess I did want to mention, with Socrates and Plato, I think there's a very funny correlation with what's happening today. The Peloponnesian Wars between Athens and Greece had Socrates and Plato questioning like a lot of the things that Athens was teaching their youth. I actually wrote some of them down right here, and I think you'll find it funny how similar it is today, right? Yeah, so a lot of the criticisms of the Platonic dialogues, which is the discussions Socrates and Plato had about the war between Athens and Sparta, was the rise of sophistry, which is the use of slippery arguments that seem true but are not. So sophists are like literally the originators of the guy that sounds like he knows what he's talking about. It's just saying some bullshit, right? And then that's rhetoric. That's what rhetoric is. Yeah, I wrote that down. Yeah, persuasive speech, persuasive arguments, which is great. It's great for people who are very passionate about something, but don't really have the resources to where am I going with this? Persuasive arguments are good, I think, in a democratic setting, to convince people of something you deep down in your heart personally know is the right thing, even if like the rest of the world doesn't believe you, or like say in a court trial you're trying to convince the jury that you're not guilty or something isn't what it seems like, and you know the truth and they don't. So yes, persuasive arguments is good for giving people a chance to defend themselves, right? We live in a democracy. We are not in a monarchy, just chopping heads off. But it can get to an extreme in the modern age, the digital age of social media, of everyone having the ability to express themselves and say whatever the hell they want. So keep that in mind. That's what I want to say. Keep that in mind as you learn more about different philosophies, different beliefs. You read more online, like understanding what like the zeitgeist of people in our age group is really believing in. Observe it, take it all in. Always, always, always analyze, and always put it through your own common sense filter, right? I mean, like, at the end of the day, we're all pretty intelligent people, most of us, and we're able to deduce what's bullshit, what's like pretty normal, I guess. So do that before you tell someone you just met that you're into Andrew Tate. Unless you're just trying to provoke a reaction out of them, then, by all means, provoke away. And then, I guess, that could be good. No, I don't think that's good. Could be good for different situations. I don't know. But, yeah, that's just what's been on my mind. And, I just think it's funny, all those correlations. The Peloponnesian Wars. Yeah, not much else to say about that. I think we'll have our own sort of platonic dialogues after whatever the fuck is going on in Iran today. So we'll call it the Trumponic dialogues. Fuck me. All right.